Morning, everybody. As we go to the chitas of today, Isru Chag. Today we're holding Friday, the sixth reading in the portion of Nosei. We are in the middle of the reading of the sacrifices that the Siyam, the head of the tribes, are brought on the dedication of the Beis Hamikdash. So we're holding the sixth Nasi, the sixth day. Vayem Hashishi Nasi Livnei God. The sixth day was the Nasi of the tribe of God, Eliyasav ben Duel. Verse 43, his offering was one silver bowl. Shleishu mei mishkala, which weighed 130 shekel. Mizak echa kesef, one silver sprinkling basin, weighed 70 shekel, shekel HaKodesh, in the holy shekel. Shneim aleim selis, both of them were filled with fine flour. Bashemen, with oil, lemincha, for a meal offering. Kaf achas asaras dav, 1 spoon weighing 10 silver shekel. Milei ketores was filled with incense. Parecha ben bakar, one young bull. Ayil echad, 1 ram. Keves echad, 1 lamb. And shnasil eila, which was in the first year for a burnt offering. Seed izim lachatas, and 1 young goat for a sin offering. For the peace offering, bakar shnayim, with 2 oxen, elim chamisha, 5 rams, tudim chamisha, 5 he goats, vasim neshana chamisha, 5 lambs in the first year. The karban Eliyasav ben Duel. This was the karban of Eliyasav ben Duel. The 7th day was the tribe of Ephraim, that of the tribe of Ephraim. Elishama ben Amiud. Karban, his sacrifice, karban, kasev eschad, 1 silver bowl. Shloish shemei mishkal, 130 was its weight. Mizrach echa kasev, 1 silver sprinkle basin. Shivin shekel, the weighed 70 shekel, b'shekel HaKodesh, in the holy counting. Shnei Maleim Sailors, both of them filled with wheat, flour, Belula Bashem, and mixed oil, the Lamincha, for a meal offering. Half a chasad zarav zamalek taters, 1 spoon weighing 10 silver shekel, filled with incense. Parecha ben bakar, one young bull. Ayel echad, 1 ram. Keves echad, 1 sheep. Ben Shnas, which was 1 year for burnt offering. And 1 young goat for a sin offering. For a peace offering, Bakashnayim, with 2 oxen, Elim Chamisha, 5 he goats, 5 rams, Atuna Chamisha, 5 he goats, Kosmaneshana Chamisa, 5 lambs in the first year. The Karban Elishama ben Amiud. This was the carbon of Elishama, the son of Amiud. Verse 54. I'm sorry, 54. The 8th day was the head of the tribe of Menashe, Gamliel ben Pedotzer, Gamliel, the son of Pedotzer. Karban, his sacrifice was Kalas Kefzachad, 1 silver bowl, weighing Chamisha Shleishim Mishkala, 130 was its weight. Mizak Echa Keset, 1 silver sprinkling basin, Shivin Shekel b'Shekel HaKodesh, weighing 70 shekel, according to the holy shekel. Shneim Meleim Sailors, Belul Bashem, both of them were filled with flour mixed with oil. The mincha, for a meal offering. Kaf b'chas asarav zamalek, tated 1 spoon weighing 10 shekel in gold, filled with incense. Parecha ben bakar, 1 young bull. Ayalecha, 1 ram. Keves echad, 1 lamb. Ben shnasi leila, in the first year for burnt offering. And 1 young he goat for a sin offering. And for a peace offering was 2 oxen, Eilen Chamisha, 5 he goats, 5 rams, Atuna Chamisha, 5 he goats, Basmaneshana Chamisha, 5 lambs in the first year. That karban, this was the karban of a Gamliel ben Pedotzer. Verse 60. In the 9th day was Nasiv Neg Binyamin, was the tribe of Binyamin, Avidam ben Gdoni. His offering was 1 silver bowl weighing 130 shekel. Mizrak echa kesef, 7 shekel. shekel, okay, one silver sprinkled basin weighing 70 shekel, according to the holy shekel. Shneim Aleim Selas, both of them were filled with fine flour. Lulav Hashem, and that was mixed with oil. The mincha for a meal offering. Kavazazar is 1 spoon weighing 70 shekel of gold filled with incense. Parechad ben Bakar, 1 young bull. Ayalechad, 1 ram. Kevesecha, 1 lamb. Ben Shnasei, within the year, la'ila for burnt offering. Sir Izim Echalachatas, and 1 young he goat for a sin offering. And for the peace offering, Bakar Shnayim with 2 oxen. Elim Chamisha with 5 rams. Atudin Chamisha, 5 elat goats. Chamisha, Kvazmaneshana Chamisha, 5 lambs. The first year. The Karban Avidan Gebedani, this is the Karban Avidan, the son of Gedani. Yom HaSiri, in the 10th day, was Nasl of Bnei Dan, was the head of the tribe of Dan, Achiezer ben Amishadai. Karbanoi, his sacrifice, Kaskadas Kasavachas, was 1 bowl, 1 silver bowl, weighing 130 shekel. Mizakacha Kasav, 1 sprinkling basin, weighing 70 shekel. Shekel HaKodesh, in the holy shekel. Shneim Leim Selos Lulav Hashem, both of them were filled with flour, mixed with oil, the mincha for meal offering. Kafachas Zav, 1 spoon weighing 10 shekel, filled of gold, 1 filled with incense. Parecha ben Bakar, 1 young bull, Ayalechad, 1 ram, Kevesecha, 1 lamb. And Shnasi, within the year, la'ila for burnt offering. Sirizim Echalachatas, and 1 young Hebrew for sin offering. For a peace offering, Bakar Shnayim with 2 rams, Elim Shnayim 2 oxen. Bakar Shnayim 2 oxen, Elim Chamisha to 5 rams, Atudin Chamisha 5 he goats. Awesome. And Shana Chamisha 5 lambs in the first year. Zer Karban Avida Achiezer ben Amishad. But Yom HaShtiyas on the 11th day. Nasl and Asher was the head of the tribe of Asher. Pagiel ben Achron. His offering was 1 silver bowl weighing 130 shekel. Mizrak Echa Kesev Shivin shekel. 1 silver sprinkling basin weighing 70 shekel. According to the Holy Shekel HaKodesh. Neim Aleim Selah, both of them filled with fine flour, with little Bashem and mixed oil, lemincha for a meal offering. Kavachas Zav, 1 spoon weighing 10 shekel, Malaya potatoes filled with incense. Parecha ben Bakar, 1 young bull. Ayalechad, 1 ram. Kevesechad, 1 lamb. Ben Shnasi Leila, within the first year for a burnt offering. Sirizim Echalachatas, and 1 he goat for the sin offering. For the burnt and for the peace offering. Bakar Shnayim with 2 oxen. Elim Chamisha 5 rams. Atudin Chamisha 5 he goats. Well, Kvasim Neshana Chamisha. Also, the lambs in the first year was 5. The Kaban Pagiel ben Acham. This was the offering of Pagiel ben Acham. But Yom HaShtiyas, the last day, the 12th day, was Nasl of Bnei Naphtali. The head of the life, Naphtali, Achida ben Enon. Karbanoi, his carbon was Kalas Kefir Zachav, was 1 offering of 1 silver bowl weighing 130 shekel. Mizrach Kesev, 1 silver sprinkling basin weighing 70 shekel. Shekel HaKodesh, the holy shekel. Shnei Malaim Selas, Belulu Bashem, and both of them were filled with fine flours mixed with oil. The mincha for a meal offering. Kafachas Azar Zav, Malay potatoes, 1 spoon weighing 10 silver shekel of gold filled with incense. Parecha ben Bakar, 1 young bull. Ayalechad, 1 ram. Kevesechad, 1 lamb. Shnasi Leila, which was in the year for a burnt offering. Sirizich Echal Achatas, and young bull, young he goat for a sin offering. Well, the Zevach Hashlam in verse 83. And for the peace offering was Bakar Shnayim, 2 oxen. Elim Chamisha, 5 rams. Tudim Chamisha, 5 he goats. First Chamisha, first lamb, the 5 lambs in the first year, The Karban Achira and Enon. This is the carbon of Achira, the son of Enon. And that finishes the Chumash for today. We are in the middle. We started on Yontiv, second part of the Tanya, which is called Shar HaYichud Ve'emunah, which means the portal of unity and faith. And the Alter Rebbe explains the concept of Emunas Hashem. What is the aspect of Emunas Hashem? According to the teachings of the Baal Shem Tov, according to the teachings of Chassidus. So we finished already the first chapter. And the concept of Dvar Hashem, that the word of God, that the Baal Shem Tov taught us. The word of God gives it the creation to the world. Sodom and Maris, and the word of God is in the world at this present time, in every creation of the world, that it continuously gives it a creation. So in essence, according to the Emunas Hashem, is that there's a yichud of the Eibishter, there's the unity of God right now. Not it's something that God created many years ago, and then He left the world, chas v'shalom. But the Eibishter needs to create the world on a constant basis. And the Alter Rebbe goes into this whole, what we're going to learn, Shar HaYichud Ve'emunah, in the concept to understand the belief, the Emunas Hashem. What is the emunah of a Yid, of a Jew? In his opening chapter, the Alter Rebbe explained the divine force, which brings all creatures into existence, must continuously, constantly be present within them in order to recreate and revivify them on an ongoing basis. Were this life force forsake any created being for even one brief moment, it would revert to the state of utter nothingness. Not it would be destroyed. It would revert to what it was. And what was it? Yesh me'ayin. Nothing. As before the creation of the universe. Nothing. So not the Eibush can destroy, that the Eibush can destroy the world, can revert the world like it never existed. So now the Alter Rebbe starts his second chapter of this part of Tanya, Shar HaYichud Ve'emunah. And from the foregoing teaching is the answer to the heretics. V'gilu sheirish tu'asam, and they're exposed the root and the error of those who are deemed heretics, not because they deny that God created the world, because they deny in Hashgacha Pratis, HaKoifrim b'Hashgacha Pratis. They deny in the individual divine providence, in the teaching of the Baal Shem Tov, Hashgacha Pratis. That's not something that God, everybody believes God created the world. So who are the kafrim? Who are heretic? Heretic is somebody who believes in divine providence. And since they don't believe in divine providence, so they don't believe in miracles. And therefore they believe in chance. Everything's a chance. Either in the right place at the wrong time, or the right place at the right time, the wrong place at the wrong time. Chance. And that's the concept of heretic, the concept that a person believes in chance and doesn't realize that Hashgacha Prat, there's no such thing as chance. There's no such thing that something does happen because it happened. Hashgacha Prat means that the Eibishter controls the world, and whatever happens in the world is because that's what the Eibishter wants. Why do they deny this when they readily admit that God created the world? So why would they deny it? If we all believe that God created the world, so what's the problem? So how is it possible to have a concept of denying Hashgacha Pratis? The answer is Shatoyim b'dinimenu hakazayu. They earned a false analogy. Shabbatam in Ma'aseh Hashem, because they compare the work of God, Oisei Shamayim v'aretz, which made the heavens and the earth, the Ma'aseh Enesh v'tachbulosav, to the work of man and the schemes of man. They are making the analogy, or they're comparing, better, not the analogy. They're comparing the creation that a human being creates or makes to the making of God. Let's say when a silversmith, for example, goes and makes a vessel, once he made the vessel, the vessel is no longer dependent upon the hands of the smith. So he made the vessel. Now that I buy the vessel's mine. It has nothing anymore to do with the guy who made it. It doesn't need its existence because the guy made it. And the second the guy made it, it's now a vessel on its own. It has its independence. It's no more dependent on its creator. For even when his hands are removed from it, and he goes away from the vessel. Sure, he goes in the marketplace. The vessel remains in exactly the same image, Vitsalmai, and the form, as it left the hand of the smith. So Taki, he's the creator of this vessel. Before it was a lump of clay. Now it's a vessel. Before it was earth and he turned it into a glass vessel. Before it was a piece of tree and he turned it into a table. It's unbelievable talent. But the second he walks away from it, the second he stops to create it, that's it. The vessel doesn't need him. And now the vessel is on its own. So they think that was the creation of the world. The Eibishter created the world, and he walked away from it. The world is on its own. The world they called it nature. Mother Nature. Same way these fools conceive the creation of the heaven and the earth. They imagine that the heaven and the earth once created no longer needs its creator. The Eibishter created the world, and that's it. Now the world goes on its own. The Eibishter is busy. God is busy. They therefore deny Hashgacha Pratis, individual divine providence, that the signs and miracles recorded in the Torah, in so much as these indicate that God continues to be involved with creation, and from time to time chooses to change the course of nature through a miraculous means. And the Chas v'Shalom, there's no such thing as chance, something happened, a fluke, a mistake. No. The Eibishter Taka created nature, and he put the boundaries of nature. But then the Eibishter creates nature. Why is there nature? Because it's happening right now. The Eibishter created nature right now. And so too, God has the capability, just like he has the capability to give the existence of nature, he has the capability to give the existence of a miracle to go above nature. Because of Hashgacha Pratis. Because of divine providence, it's happening right now. However, their eyes are covered. They do not see the great difference. Hevdel Gadol. There's a great difference between the work of man and his mechanism. Because the great difference is that man makes something from something. Man doesn't make something from nothing. Humans make something from something. We take a tree and we turn it into a table. We take a clay and we turn it into a vessel. We take a piece of metal and we make it into another kind of vessel. So what is man doing? Man is doing like they're merely changing the form of appearance. Example, from an ignorant silver into a vessel. So man merely consists of shaping pre-existing mass. Moreover, even the new appearance already exists in potentia. The tree has all the capabilities. That's why if you're talented, you can look at a piece of wood, and if you're a sculptor or you have the talent of taking this piece of wood, you have them and you know exactly what you can make out of it. That means in this piece of wood has the potential of many things. Different artists, different creators will create different things from this piece of wood. How many things are created from a piece of wood? From a table to a chair to a spoon to paper to etc. etc. Because in this piece of wood has all the potential of all these things. Thus, in reality, the craftsman did not change the matter at all. It's still the same piece of wood. Once he finished shaping this artifact, he can leave it and it's its own device because it was there before. It was there before. It was all in this piece of wood. Secure in knowledge that does not need him anymore. That's it. That's why the human being creates a thing. He's not worried that the thing is going to disappear if he doesn't be there. He's happy with his creation, with his formation, creating something and bringing out something from something else, which is a true talent, and he deserves the credit for doing it. But nevertheless, the thing was there before, and now the thing is now because it all was in the thing itself. The above mentioned misguided thinkers failed to see the difference between the activism of craftsmen, and they think that that's what the Eibishter made the world. The Eibishter created the world, put it within the nature of the world, its function, and that's it. The world doesn't need him anymore. And they don't understand because the Eibishter created everything from nothing. The Ma'aseh Shemayim V'Aretz, the creation of the heavens and the earth, through Yesh Mi'ayin. It's not Yesh Mi'yesh. It's not something from something. It's something from nothing. So before the heavens they were created, they simply did not exist. Not it was in potentia, didn't exist. There was no such thing as Gashmis. There's no such thing as physicality. Only after they were created did they come into being an existent entity. So that's why only the Eibishter, that's why Chassidus explains only God can create something from nothing. There was not something from something, it was something from nothing. And that's really the greatness of creation itself. Because Gashmi, spirituality, could come something from something. But physicality only comes from God. Spirituality cannot create physicality. Physicality can only be created from God because it's something from nothing. It did not exist. So we have to understand that concept, the concept of creation, yesh me'ayin. Very important word over here, yesh me'ayin. In English is creation exo nilo. It's a fancy word, but in Hebrew it's yesh me'ayin. Something for nothing. Really, I mean, it's the opposite. We're nothing from real something. But the expression is yesh me'ayin, because it's to us to understand that we are a yesh. We are a physical entity over here now. Means yesh means a physical entity. We are a physical entity that came from nothing. We're not a physical entity that came from something. So in this situation, the Alter Rebbe will soon conclude that the creative force which brings them into existence must constantly recreate them in order for them to exist. That's what we understand. The Alter Rebbe says that ultimately something from nothing needs to have that nothing to make sure that it's a something. Because if not, it'll return to nothing. So if God walks away from creation, the creation turns to nothing. Because without God giving it its existence, it would never exist. It doesn't have existence. So it would be as if it never existed. Which is, in essence, very difficult for us to understand, because we cannot understand to be able to create something from nothing. There's no such thing in this world. Everything in the world is from something. Baruch Hashem, throughout history, we had inventors and people that seek to invent, but it's all from something. They took things in the world and they made the world a better world. And that's what God wanted. Take the world, develop it, make it better, and don't live still in the Stone Ages. But everything in the world was there. Man harnessed it. Man took what was in the world and developed it. Baruch Hashem. We should continue to develop the world. But everything's something from something. The Eibishter created the world from something from nothing. Therefore, this something needs to have that nothing, so to say, or needs to have the energy that gives the capability of this something that was not there before. And it needs that power continuously. Because if there's no power, then that something reverts to nothing. So in essence, you can take everything. Akam and La'afar, the Gemara says, everything comes to the earth, and everything returns to the earth. You can take everything in the world, you can destroy it. You can burn it. You have to know how to take away all its elements. You can return it to its previous element. But that's a something. So I take a tree, a beautiful tree, I burn it, I take all these chairs and tables, I can burn it. It returns to Afar, turns to dust, turns to Afar, to earth. So therefore, I returned it to its basic element. Really, I cannot destroy this world. It's impossible for me to do that. I can bring it down to its right. Everything in the world has within it Eish, Ruach, Mayim, and Afar. Eish, fire, Ruach, spirit, Mayim, water, Afar. Everything ultimately turns to Afar. Take away all its elements from it, you turn it back to the earth. That's the furthest you can go. Ultimately, it turns to Afar. But you cannot destroy the world. You cannot destroy the world that you make it an ayin. You make it into nothing. No existence whatsoever. Why? Because you never created anything for an ayin. You never created anything for no existence. You created it for an existence. So you can return it to an existence. That's why Avraham Avinu said, "Anochi Afar ve'efer." I'm ultimately, but I'm based earth, because earth I came from, to earth I returned. So ultimately, what am I? I'm earth. That's the basic component. Take away the water, take away the air, take away all that, you're going to have earth. But I can become an ayin. I can become an ayin. The only one who can make me an ayin is the Eibishter. Therefore, that's why in the concept of Tchias HaMesim, the resurrection of the dead, is that ultimately everybody's still here. Every human being is still here in some kind of a form or another, physically still here. And that's why it's important for us as Yidden to have a kfura, to be buried, to have a kfura that there's a makom. We're still here. Our ancestors are still here. They're buried, but they're still here. And Amir Hashem, what the Eibush needs to do is just bring back the life to that existence. But not that he became an ayin, he doesn't exist anymore. This person doesn't exist anymore. He's gone. His spirituality is gone. In heaven, turn to its, but its physicality ultimately is still here. In some way, in some kind of form. Eibush just means to bring back the concept of the spirit with the form, with the body. So in such a situation, the creative, therefore, in such a situation, the creative force which brings them into existence must continue to recreate them in order for them to exist. Where the force withdraw for even a briefest moment, creation will revert to nothing. Wupela Gadol, and this creation is the wonder of all wonders. Yosem Kriyas Yamsov, they even more than what Jews celebrate. Kriyas Yamsov, every day they sing Oz Yasher, the miracle of the splitting of the sea. The truth is, a miracle that I am exist right now is a greater miracle than the crossing of the sea. And therefore, I should celebrate, if I could celebrate the crossing of the sea, which is an unbelievable miracle. But that they have existence, a greater miracle. That the Eibishter gives me existence right now is a much greater miracle. It's a much more powerful miracle. What was the miracle of the crossing of the sea? What did God do? God, the Torah says what he did. God drove back the sea by a strong east wind all the night, meaning godly force that split the sea, clothed itself in the wind. Why? The Eibishter, God wanted through nature to bring about this miracle. So what did he do? The sea usually flows. That's the normal nature of water. It flows. The Eibishter took a wind, brought a wind, an east wind, a very powerful wind, and this wind blew the entire night, blew the sea to split. Vayibaka amayim, and the water split. V'nitzvu kurined, and it's unbelievable. The water split, something that the Eibishter changed in nature. That usually water flows, and it stood like a wall. It looked like a wall. Not merely ceased to flow, but stood upright as a wall. The sea, and if you know the Medrash, the Gemara, it actually came 12 different tunnels, 12 walls. And God would stop the wind, which he ultimately did, and the water continued to flow. The water would instantly flow downward. That's the nature of water. It would flow downward, kidarkam, like its way, v'nature, v'tivam, and its nature. And it wouldn't stand like a wall. The least suffix, without a doubt. So undoubtedly, the Eibishter would take away that wind, which he did, and the water started to flow. Didn't stand like a wall. Even though the nature of water to flow downward is also newly created externally. The Eibishter created that water flows. Why you think about it? Why does water flow and a wall stands? Why doesn't the wall fall down and flow? Because the Eibishter created a wall, stone, and cement to stand. Baruch Hashem, to stand as bricks to stands as a wall, and the Eibishter created water to flow. The truth is, in the context of Hashgacha Prata, the water flows is a continuously thing. The Eibishter wants the water should flow, and God wants a brick wall to stand. That's what the Eibishter wants, and he has to continuously put it within the nature of water to flow. As the Alter Rebbe points out, the Alter Rebbe means to say that not only if water itself created exonila, but the nature of water to flow downward is created exonila. When the mighty wind caused the water to stand as a wall, nothing was newly created exonila, yashmiayin. There was the wind and the water. If the wind wouldn't be there, the water would have flown, because that's the nature of water. That the wind came and pushed the water, so nothing changed really. If there wasn't the wind, the water would have still done what it's done. There was no more than the case of yashmiyayin. One existent state of fluidity of water was merely replaced by another existent state, its ability to remain upright. Why? Because of a wind. Nevertheless, this is an unbelievable miracle. Because where do you see such a situation? I mean, you can create that today. You can create it. You can have a bathtub of water, bring a big, strong wind, you'll split the water. You can do it. You can try it at home. Nevertheless, this ability of water to stand rock-like was something novel. The force that is responsible for this novelty, even though this novelty involves no more than a progression from one yesh to another, the wind to the water, must constantly cause it to come about. The moment it ceases to do so, the novel event is arrested, goes away. So this is a novel event. That the Eibishter brings a wind that and holds up water that usually floats. Wow, that's a ness. But it's not a miraculous of miracles. The Eibishter didn't change really nature, but one nature to another nature. We thus see that the fluidity of water is not in strength to its essence. By way of contrast, the fact that created being occupies space, for example, is essential characteristic that does not require separate creation of exonila. In order for the water to be fluid, a distinct act of creation, exonila, is required. So actually, that water flows is a greater miracle than the standing of the water by the wind. But we make a big deal of Kriyas Yamsuf, that the Eibishter brought a wind and stood up water, which is novel. But that water flows is really the true novelty. And that the Eibishter made water to stand like a wall, and we didn't have to have the Kriyas Yamsuf. The water itself will stand like a wall because that's how he got created. No, God created the water to flow. That's the true creation. And the Eibishter created the water to flow. That's a Kriya Yesh Mi'ayin. That's a concept that the Eibishter creates constantly. It's a miracles of all miracles. The Alter Rebbe makes this point by citing the conscious in the case of a stone wall, which stands upright, independently of any external forces. Right? The Eibishter doesn't need to have a wind to blow to keep the wall of the building up. Why? Because thank God, God created a wall, cement, to stand upright, and stones and brick stones stand upright. Baruch Hashem, and thank God the Eibishter makes constantly that this wall stands. That's a true miracle. That wall stands and water flows. This is mamish akriya. Those things are a true concept of a miracle. That's why we take these things for granted. We take for granted that water flows. We take for granted that stones stand. Why do we take it for granted? If you understand at the beginning, that we're fools. We are truly fools to realize that these things that happen are these natural things that we take for granted, that is within nature, is the true miracle of miracles. The stone wall stands erect by itself without the assistance of a wind. But the nature of water is not to do. It goes, it flows. And therefore God needed to bring a wind. Since water by nature does not stand upright, but flows downward, that's why the nature of water, that's a miracle. An additional degree of creation, ex nihilo, is called in to do otherwise and to create a wind. The above demonstrates divine force that encloses itself in the wind did not have to be created at Yesh Mi'ayin, a new existence being within creation. It merely had to change one yesh to another yesh. That's like the creation of a human being. Created one yesh to another yesh. That's why the truth, as I said, every person can create the crossing of the sea. You're able to do it in a big sea. He'll be able to do it in his bathtub. So he'll be able to create this because you're taking one yesh, you're taking another yesh, you're putting one yesh with another yesh. You can do the crossing of the sea. The natural property of fluidity to the natural property of standing erect. Nevertheless, maybe you can do it in your bathroom, in your bathtub, but it's not possible to do it in a sea, in an ocean, or even in a river. That would be impossible for even a human being to do that. We'll have to have an extremely powerful thing. I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if I've tried it. So it's novel. This is the miracle of the crossing of the sea. The Eibishter took a sea of reeds, Red Sea, and he split it. He brought a wind, split the whole sea. The Eibishter has the wind of all winds, the east wind, and he split the sea. Even in such situations, since its radical degree of change is involved, it's necessary for the power causing the change to affect the change unremittingly. The Eibush needs to keep the wind there. The Eibush wanted to show us what means Yesh Me'ayin in a physical way. Just like in this miracle that you're celebrating. God held up the walls. God took nature and held up the walls. And how did he hold up the walls? Because he kept that wind there. And the second the Jews came out, the Eibush took away the wind. And naturally, God took away that wind. The wall of the sea is going to come down. It's going to come down. It's going to turn to its nature. It's going to come down. It's going to come falling down on the addition, which happened. But do you see the concept that the Eibush had to have one nature to hold back another nature? So too you should understand the concept of Yesh Me'ayin. If you understand it in the miracle of the crossing of the sea, which that's why we say the crossing of the sea, if you comprehend this miracle, the splitting of the sea that happened to the Jewish people, and that's why we sing as Yosher, to emphasize this unbelievable miracle, then through this you'll understand the true miracle. The miracle of all miracles is that you're in existence right now. Because if God had to have a wind to keep up the sea, God has to have his word, so to say, a wind, to make sure that you and I and everything physical is in existence right now. Surely then the Alter Rebbe will soon conclude with regard to creation of the world, which comes into being for nothing. This is something from something. Here's something from nothing. The activating force of the Creator must continuously be present in the creative universe, providing it with life and existence, like holding up the wall, like the wind of the crossing of the sea held up the world. And the Jewish people realized this novelty and realized this miracle, and they sang, Oz Yosher. So surely we should sing, and we do. We daven every day. We thank the Eibishter for giving us life, giving us existence. Because if God would not hashgacha pratis, God would not give us existence right now. So to say, the wind would not blow and give us our existence, we would return to nothing. Just like the wall, the water wall returned to its existence, which is the flow. We will return to our true existence, which is truly nothing. Providing us with life and existence, indeed, would not constantly present, the universe would revert to absolutely nothingness, to nothing. As everything in Tanya, teaching the Alter Rebbe, need to be learned a couple of times, many times, to ultimately grasp what the Alter Rebbe wants to tell us. Well, what a powerful teaching of the Alter Rebbe we learned today. And the entire teaching of the Shari Yichud Emunah, you're going to learn very deep concepts of things that we need to contemplate and understand, to have Emunah Hashem, to understand that our Emunah Hashem, not that we believe in God and we believe they created the world, but Hashgacha Pratis, that the Eibishter Pashid right now gives me my existence. And if it wasn't for God giving me my existence and the world existence, there wouldn't be a world. I wouldn't be here. But this ends the Tanya for today. Today is the 8th day of the month, which is chapter 44 in Tehillim till chapter 48. If you see those 5 chapters, you do the Chitas of the day. I want to wish you all a good Shabbos. I want you to hope that you'll learn Chitas tomorrow by yourself. And amid Shem, we'll meet each other 8 o'clock. We'll come together 8 o'clock on Sunday, and we'll continue to learn the Chitas of the day. Have a wonderful, beautiful day.
Thank you, Rabbi.